Alright, y'all, welcome back to Real Comic Book Talk. Today, we're going to be giving our best live action Spider-Man. It's only been 3, but it's been 3 bangers, so this is going to be difficult. I'm not even going to lie, I still haven't picked mine yet. So,
what? We're recording. What are you doing?
What you want me to do, lie? Anyway, so...
Be ready. That's what I want. I want you to be ready.
When
the camera hits and it's going to record, be ready. Let's go. Live action Spider-Man. We're doing 3 of them. The 3 live ones that are there. Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield,
Tobey Maguire.
Now, I'm not saying his name for any specific reason, like there's favoritism or anything. But, you know, we're about to break it down for you. The categories are...
And categories are: first, who was the best Peter Parker? Second, best action scenes.
Oh, yeah.
Third, closest to the comics. And fourth and final, who had the best Spidey suit?
No, that's not the final. The final one is who's your favorite.
Oh, yeah. All right, sorry. And then the final one is who's your favorite and why. Favorite? I'm sorry. Because everybody knows who the number 1 answer is. Anyway, you ready? Locked and loaded, ready to go?
Hope this doesn't go the same way your Batman one went. Check that out on our other videos and everything. Let's find out. You start us off with the best Peter Parker. Who do you got? This one's tough. You started off with the hardest one out.
Jeez.
Yeah.
All right, so for me,
Mr. I'm not ready. You better get ready.
All right, so the best Peter Parker is going to be a little tough because it comes down to 2 people. Andrew Garfield, who I fought for rigorously.
No.
And not Tobey Maguire, but
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland.
Of course you're fighting for Andrew Garfield because nobody believes Andrew Garfield is a good Peter Parker. We've been to conventions and people...
I don't care what people say to me about that because I feel how I feel. So anyway, I'm not going to lie, this one is biased only because I hated the fact they brought Peter Parker back for a 3rd installment of another Spider-Man. I wanted Miles Morales. I stand by that. They even took some of his characters, changed the name. So because of that, and I know it's not his fault, because he was a great Peter Parker, high school kid, a little clumsy. Well, I can't say he was clumsy before the powers because we didn't know. We never know. Really good-hearted kid, but the way he was just dick riding Tony Stark, I just cannot get over. I mean, he was riding that dude like a rodeo, and I was like...
He was everybody's hero.
No, we've seen several adults say Iron Man has caused all of these problems.
Yeah, he probably was, but still.
So...
From a kid's point of view, he's a hero.
No, just for one kid. This one kid. One kid's point of view. I mean, he was riding that dude like it was nothing. Oh, Mr. Stark? Who was Mr. Stark? Mr. Stark? Mr. Happy? Oh my God!
On as a hero, the man's going. He had the potential.
He was already a hero before.
He on a new level of hero, international. His first time dealing with Tony Stark as Iron Man was in another country.
That's all fine and well.
International hero.
Yeah. Some people used to say he was on the wrong side of that fight too, as well.
Yeah, say what you want.
I mean, dude, that's a whole other story.
You got a robotic arm, dude. How cool is that?
Yeah, I mean, when he was in the Spidey suit, amazing. I'm not talking about that. We said it's Peter Parker. It's Peter Parker.
Yeah. So you picked Tom Holland.
I'm not picking Tom Holland. I'm picking Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield was a man of his own. And I got to give credit because the chemistry he had with, I can't think of her name right now, but the girl who played Gwen Stacy, that felt like they were truly in love. Like they were in the comics. I think they also dated in real life.
Because they dated in real life.
It doesn't matter. You felt it on the screen. And when I was like, young. This is how Peter Parker would feel towards Gwen Stacy. They challenge each other, but it's love, and she's willing to help, and he'll do everything for her, and then he's out there telling jokes and real quick with it. I was like, yes, Andrew Garfield, you're amazing. Your story's not nowhere near as good as the Spider-Man before you. For gosh, the way you performing right now as Peter Parker, I can see Peter Parker doing all of this. I can see him going head over heels for Gwen Stacy, pushing her aside to protect her life. Had the ghost of her father right there. I can see you doing all that. Way to go, Peter Parker. Good job, Andrew Garfield. This is the best Peter Parker performance I've seen of my time, including Tom Holland. Way to go. Should have never Dick roll Iron Man like that. So who is your favorite? Who do you think is the best performance of Peter Parker?
This is tricky also. I believe you when you said that all the way to this moment. I also, all the way to this moment, didn't have Peter Parker. All right, this is weird. All right, this is how it's going to break down to you. Kiss my behinds. If you don't like it, shove it. The first Spider-Man movie, Tobey Maguire in the first Spider-Man movie was a great Peter Parker. Tobey Maguire in the third Spider-Man movie was a bad Peter Parker. Tobey Maguire in the second Spider-Man movie was a great Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield's not in this discussion at all. I didn't like him as Peter Parker at all. Did not. Tom Holland as Peter Parker and Spider-Man Homecoming, I liked it. But I'm going with Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker. Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker. It was it. It was it for me. I liked it. He was everything I wanted as Peter Parker. Like, he wasn't... He was just accurate. Everything about him going to work for the Daily Bugle, him... Even though he didn't get to use his scientific powers as much, but the things he had to go through as a teenager, him liking the girl, him having to balance between being Spider-Man and him using his personality, him driving the little cart and everything, him going, everything about him as Peter Parker was Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield was not it. Tom Holland in high school was just not it for me. It wasn't. He, like you said, him being with Iron Man, he fanboyed it, and Peter Parker never fanboy like that. Like, no, Peter Parker doesn't fanboy in the comics to that extent at all. So, Tobey Maguire, that's Peter Parker. Tobey Maguire, that's Peter Parker.
All right, so I mean, I'm not going to argue down.
No, there's no need to argue. Let's go.
If you would have said Tom Holland, it would have been issues.
Don't worry, he won something.
All right,
it's not that. Best action scene.
This is
tough.
Are we including?
This is tough.
Are we including
live action Spider-Man action scene?
Are we including the way he swings on the webs as well?
Yes, that's action.
Then I'm sorry, this is going to sound just like the Batman thing. It's Andrew Garfield.
Yeah,
it's Andrew Garfield. It was close until he said the swinging thing. It was close until he said the swinging thing because I was going to go with Tobey Maguire. But the way that Andrew Garfield was jumping
his action scenes were like that in those two movies.
We talking about Andrew Garfield?
Yes, they were like that.
You're not gonna hear no argument with me.
Clearly, we both are in agreement here.
But the way he was swinging and he was jumping through the crane. He just jumped through the crane. I was like, yeah, like I'm literally like,
it looked like the video game that's about to come out. It looked just like the video.
I was like, yo, this is outrageous. Like this is what Spider-Man. I know Tom Holland.
Tobey was pretty cool.
I know, but I know Tom Holland. Everybody like, well, he could do those things in real life. That's great. Yeah, it didn't look as cool as it did in Amazing Spider-Man.
Amazing Spider-Man was amazing.
The Amazing Spider-Man action scenes. I was like, yeah. And then when he was climbing over the lizard, literally looked like a spider.
Yes.
I was like, young, this is legit. And
yes, that was comic book. That joint looked like a comic book, video game, and animation all in one. They spent all their money on that.
Yeah, because they did not spend it on the writers.
They
did spend it on the writers, but they spent it on that. That was that was amazing.
That answers that next one.
So we already agree with
Andrew
Garfield. You're right now.
Scenes.
Right now you're winning because we picked you for two different
action scenes.
Right now you're winning. All right, closest to the comics.
Did we get to break this one down? We didn't actually talk about this one off camera. Are we breaking it down the closest to the comics as Peter Parker or closest to the comics as Spider-Man?
You got to find a way to...
Or we just...
You got to combine it.
Combine them both?
Yeah, come up with your...
You're going first.
All right, so look. I want to start like this. The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. His Spider-Man wasn't necessarily one from the comics. It was closest to the animated series.
Yeah.
So I understand why they did it because that was popular. everybody loved the animated series,
Yep.
and you know you would have more people who seen the animated series. And you go to if you went to the movies and they show you something completely different,
Yep.
you're like, I don't know what this is.
Yep, Green Goblin, Hobgoblin, all
Yeah.
that good stuff. Right?
So it was easily to see why they went with the animated joint where he's in college, trying to live a college life and have a job. I get that.
Right.
But everybody loves Peter Parker in the comics from when he was in high school. With that being said, I can't say necessarily Tom Holland because in the comics he never just dick rolled.
But like you said, they took from the Miles Morales storyline,
Yeah,
as you say it. So,
but Miles Morales didn't do that either.
Based off of that stuff,
they just added that in there.
How he was going about being a new Spider-Man in high school and stuff, and the stuff he had to go through, and he had a best friend. Wasn't that kind of close?
Yeah, it was, but then the real thing is that Spider-Man was half black, half Hispanic. This one is purely Caucasian.
Oh, okay.
So you talking about a whiteout?
Okay.
So
you had that factor in too. Okay.
So when you put all of it together, only by default, and I'm not saying he's close, but only by default, I'm going to have to go.
Andrew Garfield.
Tobey Maguire.
What?
Not Tobey Maguire.
Andrew
Garfield.
Andrew Garfield.
I had to go Andrew Garfield only because
by default.
It's only by default because Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was based on the animated series when he was in college. They took stories from the Ultimate Spider-Man and Spider-Man Homecoming and then changed Miles Morales' character into Peter Parker's character.
So what you're saying is Tobey Maguire got disqualified from competition because they didn't use the comic book version,
and he didn't have web shoes either. It came organically. That's never happened.
That's
never. So you're automatically disqualified. I'm sorry.
Tobey Maguire got disqualified because of
and then
certain aspects.
The whole white. It's not necessarily a whiteout because you just took Miles Morales out and put Peter Parker in a Miles Morales situation. So I can't necessarily say it's a whiteout. It's like a switch out.
Okay, switch out, but still.
But people would say,
but was it still accurate to the comic?
It wasn't because that was Miles Morales doing things.
But still,
it was a Spider-Man, but it wasn't the right Spider-Man. Just like saying, if you had an Iron Man movie and they took an Iron Heart storyline and put Tony Stark in it, like, yeah, that's what happened. In the story is right, but the character's wrong. Or better, or you know what?
Yeah, I can understand that.
Or
they
better,
stay true, but they stay true to the story.
Yeah, they stay true to the story, but not the whole. They changed the most important part of the story, and so just by default alone, not because it was close to the comic, just by default alone, it's Andrew Garfield, and they also killed Gwen Stacy, which was a major plot point in any Spider-Man movie there ever has been or ever will be. They've been trying to bring her back for years, and that shit just not clicking.
All right.
Even though Tobey Maguire did it wrong. See, yeah, Tobey Maguire's disqualified, so I don't even care. Like, Andrew Garfield, you won by default alone. I'm not saying it was even close, but you just won by default alone. I'm sorry. Who do you think was close to the comics?
Tom Holland. Because of everything, just because they changed who he was, the race, everything else to me was right. I like the modernized comics that they're using. They're going mostly with his story and how his personality is and everything like that. Even as a high schooler and stuff.
See, in the comics, he's not a high schooler.
In the comic books, he's not but that's
he's
the
a
thing.
full-grown adult.
But even his personality, I'm going based off of his personality and the jokes he tells and stuff like that is closer to what he would be like in the comics. So I'm going with Tom Holland.
I can't.
He's the closest to me.
I can't disagree with that, but the whole giving Miles Morales story, because right now, if you want to read a Spider-Man high school,
because we automatically disqualify Peter Parker for the obvious reasons, and then Andrew Garfield was. I mean, I see why you picked him, and I'm close to that, but I'm on the edge, and I'm still leaning towards Tom Holland. So I go with Tom Holland. All right, let's go to the next one.
Next one is who had the best Spidey suit?
Ooh, best Spidey suit.
Oh,
that's tough.
Oh,
I'm not saying Tom Holland. I can't go with it. His suit talked. I can't do that. Nope.
You know what?
It's not Tom Holland.
And that's another reason why he's not close to the comics, because the suit never talks.
His suit talked. I didn't like it.
You know what the problem with that one is?
That
was more Iron Man dick riding.
That irked me like a mother. I could not stand that. And then I hated the way Andrew Garfield. Clearly, I'm going first. I hated the way Andrew Garfield's look. I didn't like the extended legs. It looked like a daddy long legs to me, and I was like, this is not.
That's because he's tall though.
I know you could have made it more. No, I just didn't like the way that looked. I didn't even like the color. The color was more darker, and it looked like the Superman suit. It was darker and then bright red. The red was brighter and the blue was darker. I didn't like it at all. Tobey Maguire, best suit. Tobey Maguire's suit was awesome to me. Even when he got punched in the face and you just saw his one eyeball and then the revealed his one eye and everything, I was like, yo, this is like that. And then him making his own suit and everything like that.
Well, they all made their own suit.
Tom Holland,
his first suit,
his Spider-Man suit, his actual Spider-Man suit he got from Iron Man. He didn't make it. Disqualification.
I'm not denying that.
Okay then, disqualification for that. And then Andrew Garfield, I just flat out didn't personally like. And the closest one to me and the best looking one was the Tobey Maguire. So Tobey Maguire has the best Spider-Man suit. Live action. My answer. There you go. Leave comments if you don't like it. Kick rocks. What you got? Best Spider-Man suit live action. Who?
All right, not Tobey Maguire. Tom Holland disqualified. First of all, you got your suit from Iron Man. It had an AI in it, out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, then you got an Iron Spider-Man suit, which I didn't even like in the comics like that. To be perfectly honest with you. So he's already gone. Now if he would have stayed in the junk he had made, I would go with that because I love hoodies. I just don't have one today, but I love hoodies.
Yeah, you don't have a hoodie on.
I know. I can't find. I just moved and I can't find my clothes, so I gotta finish unpacking. I haven't found my hoodies yet, so that's why that's happening. But yeah, I had to scramble for clean drawers. But that's a whole different story. I do drawers. But because you know my favorite Spider-Man suit of all time, outside of the Miles Morales one, is the Scarlet Spider when he had the cut off hoodie joint. I was like, that joint. Me, I was like, that looks amazing. And that's the one he had. That's the one he made himself.
That one qualifies. That dick's qualified.
But he was only in a YouTube scene, and then a scene in that last fight scene in Homecoming, and then he was never in it again. So I can't say, oh yeah, he was in the suit. People barely remember. If you blink, you miss it.
No, but he was in it. You seen it.
It wasn't. I can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I can't do it now. Tobey Maguire's, I'm gonna have to go with his. Andrew Garfield was like the DCEU version of Spider-Man, which I don't have a problem with. But that Tobey Maguire joke, I was like, yeah. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, this, yeah, perfection. I was like, yeah, go be Spider-Man, go save the day, go get the girl.
Go save the day.
So yeah, we're in agreement there. It's Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
What? Tobey Maguire.
I'm sorry.
Tobey Maguire. Say it again.
Tobey Maguire. Here's a picture. Tobey Maguire. Spider-Man suit. Sheesh.
Why are you about to ruin it? We're in agreement. No, we are.
All right. So what's the next one?
Favorite.
Who's your favorite? Go first.
Favorite is Tom Holland. My favorite Spider-Man as a whole is Tom Holland. Despite everything else I've said, I like
him apart.
I like Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man. I just like watching that on screen compared to everything else. I don't like watching Andrew Garfield. I literally have only seen Amazing Spider-Man one time and Amazing Spider-Man 2 one time. I've seen Spider-Man a lot. and Spider-Man 2 a lot. The third Spider-Man, I've seen it one time. The one time I saw it in theaters was just like, nah, bro. Nah. I was like, that's how I sounded too. Nah, bro. That's just not cool, man. And then Andrew Garfield's, I saw Amazing Spider-Man one time. And I saw it twice. I saw Amazing Spider-Man one time. I saw Amazing Spider-Man 2, 1.5. Couldn't make it through. Didn't want to see Gwen Stacy die. Couldn't make it through.
Nobody wants to see her die.
I didn't even want to get to that point. So I was like, cut it. Now, Spider-Man Homecoming, liked that. I liked it. I liked Tom Holland's portrayal as Spider-Man. Yeah. When I first saw that dang on trailer of Captain America Civil War and Spider-Man and Winter Soldier swung at him and he grabbed that thing, his arm, and he said, "Yo, you got a robotic arm." I was like, that's Spider-Man. When he grabbed Captain America's shield, flipped, landed on the dang car and everything, in Civil War, it was like, "Hi, I'm Spider-Man." His voice and everything, folks lost it on the internet. I was one of those people that lost it on the internet. I was like, yo, that's how Spider-Man's supposed to be. He said, oh my God. Yo, Tom Holland's portrayal of Spider-Man, for me, is the best Spider-Man. With a close Tobey Maguire. Like, it was tough. The third Spider-Man did not help his cause. At all.
A lot.
I did. It wasn't even his fault. It was the writing. But still,
is it my turn yet?
You played and everything. No, it's not.
Okay.
Andrew Garfield, I don't know, man. Yeah, I didn't even. When I look at him, I don't even see Spider-Man. Like him as a regular person, I look and I was like, yeah, I don't even see you as Spider-Man. You do look like. No, not Spider-Man at all. I don't see it, bro. I don't like it. Tom Holland for me, people. That's it. You got it.
All right, so for me, let me go through my thought process right quick.
Hit them.
All right, let's start it off like this.
Because they're going to judge.
Just like you were in the trailer. I was like, oh my gosh. Well, let's take a step further even back. All right, when they first said Marvel was going to use Spider-Man in the MCU, I was like, bet. Bring Miles Morales. I literally said, I've seen 5 movies of Peter Parker. I know everything there is to know about Peter Parker. If I didn't read comics, I would know everything there is to know about Peter Parker. That was my thought. I was like, I'm done with that. Show me Miles Morales. Okay? And then when they said they wasn't, I was upset. So I was already in my feelings. Then when they showed the trailer in Civil War, and he caught
Winter Soldier,
when he grabbed the shield, like, hey, I'm Spider-Man. And I was like, I'm just like you. That's Spider-Man. That's amazing. I can't deny it. I wish it was Miles, but that's Spider-Man. And then I was like, cool, fine. Then in the movie, he did everything, Spider-Man does. Going to Aunt May, trying to put stuff together, old technology together, make new stuff. Perfectly fine. Had no problem with none of that. Not at all. He wasn't even digging out of Tony Stark because he didn't meet him yet. No problem at all. He was in the fight at the airport. No problem with what he was doing. No problem at all. Even though he got threatened with somebody, with Tony Stark, so I'm gonna tell Aunt May. You know what I'm saying? Even though you kind of put him in that situation, which is fucked up by Tony Stark. That's a whole different thing. Had no problem with that at all. Spider-Man Homecoming, news, they dropping news stuff about who's gonna be casted and what roles they're gonna play. Mm-hmm. I was like, you know what? Fuck all this. You're automatically disqualified. This is Miles. You were there, and I said, "This is Miles Morales."
Oh yeah, you were.
This is all Miles Morales.
I forgot about that.
I was like, you know what? This is done. I'm done. I can't do it. And there's no knock on you, Tom Holland. You had nothing to do with that. But the people ahead of you, Kevin Feige, you suck for this one. You a jerk.
You keep saying that.
Tobey Maguire. For me, I never seen Tobey Maguire anything else. So when they put his in as Spider-Man, all I can see was Spider-Man. Just like the dude who plays Neo on The Matrix.
Oh, Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, I've never seen anything else before.
You never saw him in anything else before Matrix?
Before Matrix. I didn't watch a lot of movies back then either.
You must not have.
So I was like, yeah, I didn't see you. So all I see is Neo. Every time I see him in something, I'm like, is he going to ever jump in the air and fly and stuff? This is just what I want to see. But that's just me. So Tobey Maguire, I never seen nothing Spider-Man. So every time I see him, I see that Spider-Man. So I had to cut that part of my thought process out and look at the totality. And I was like, all right. As soon as in Spider-Man 3, he came out that clothing store and start going like this, I'm out.
I told you that was so good.
I'm out. And he doesn't have web shooters. I was like, all right. I was overlooking the web shooter thing, but this, I was like, all right, I'm out. So then I counted the web shooters. Like, now you don't have web shooters. You're doing this. You're doing some other wild stuff in the symbiote. You got your hair slicked back like you a 90s pop star from China or something like that. I can't do. I'm done with all of this. I'm done with all of this. I'm just done. So like, all right, look. I go back to Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield. I was like, yo, he's telling jokes. He's making fun of people as he's fighting. And then he just got serious all of a sudden because he wants answers about his parents' death or whatever. But while he's fighting, he's telling jokes and trying to convince people you ain't got to do this and doctor's not you and all that great stuff. I had no problem with that. And the whole time I'm thinking, if he had better writing, everybody would say this is an amazing Peter Parker. Like from his performance, I could tell he's doing everything he can with the script that's presented in front of him. If he had a better script, people would say he's a better Spider-Man than what he's showing. He was held back by the script, just like
you can only judge on what you've been given.
Right, and what I've been given, I'm doing that. What I've been given is his performance as Spider-Man is amazing. It's not his fault that the writing sucks for his performance. If the writing matched his performance, we would be saying he's the greatest. It did not match. So,
Tom Holland.
I'm still not going to say it. It's still Andrew Garfield because I think he closely represents Spider-Man to what I know Spider-Man to be and how I see Spider-Man. It's just he was held back by things that he couldn't control. And I'll never hold that against anybody who's in create.
Your favorite, let's make this official. Your favorite Spider-Man portrayal of live action
is Andrew Garfield.
Wow. All right now. It's documented. It's about to be published. You're about to be talked about at conventions. They're gonna be like, you think your favorite Spider-Man?
I don't think I know. My favorite is Andrew Garfield.
You think you know, but I'm going to rebuttal that.
All right, man. Let's bring it to a close. First of all, you done?
I am.
We want to give a shout out to our cosplayer of the day. Her name is Nicole Martin. Also goes by Love Paper Doll on Instagram. Here she is right here. Beautiful cosplay of Raven. I guess it's a Teen Titan week over here. Real comic book talk. But yes, I mean, make sure you guys go follow her on Instagram. I think she has a Snapchat as well, but go look at Instagram. Look at all the other cosplays. She does amazing jobs. Goes to a lot of different conventions, man. If you ever see her, she's a really nice person. Go talk to her. And if you like what you see here, man, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you love what you see. Make sure you leave comments down below who you think, or who's your favorite Spider-Man and why. Who you think had the best suit, the best action, who was closest to the comics, who had the best suit, period, man. Let us know all that down below. And until next time, deuces.